Which is the best VR headset you can buy? And what's the difference between the top players? These are some of the important questions you need to ask if you're considering investing in some VR hardware. And, fortunately for you, we have the answers right here. The Oculus Quest looks like a cross between the Oculus Rift and the Oculus Go. Like the Rift, it has a curved matte black plastic front panel and a 3-strap harness setup that forms a large oval to cradle the back of your head. Like the Go, it has fabric sides and an open speaker system that directs sound to your ears instead of on-ear headphones that attach to the sides of the headset. Like Windows mixed reality headsets and the Rift S, the Oculus Quest features 4 cameras arranged on its front edges. These let the Quest monitor your position and surroundings, working with built-in motion sensors to provide 6 degrees of freedom head tracking. A power button sits on the left side of the faceplate, mirrored by a USB-C port for charging the headset on the right side. 3.5mm headphone jacks rest on either side of the Quest, below the pivoting mount where the straps connect. The underside of the headset holds a volume rocker and a focus lever. Both the Quest and the Rift S use Oculus' new touch controllers, redesigned versions of the 6-doof motion controllers offered with the first Rift. The Quest includes a pair of these controllers, a notable upgrade from the single 3 degrees of freedom remote included with the Oculus Go. These are smaller and lighter controllers than the original touch versions but include all the same features and design elements. The Quest is surprisingly light at 1.3 pounds. While that weight is of course front-loaded into a plastic box you strap to your face, the harness distributes it fairly comfortably. The Vive Cosmos looks a bit more colorful and playful than the Vive, with a dark blue outer body covered in a triangle pattern, and 2 forward-facing cameras reminiscent of eyes. A pupillary distance knob sits below the right-facing camera, and a power LED and button sit below the left-facing camera. The entire visor is mounted on a single hinge that connects to the large plastic arch on the front of the 3-point headband. The headband extends around the back of your skull with a second plastic arch with a clicking wheel that loosens and tightens it. If plastic sounds cold and hard to you, don't worry, both arches are padded with foam and covered in faux leather. An elastic strap loops from the back arch to the front, and connects to itself with hook and loop fasteners to ensure a secure fit. A set of on-ear headphones rest on short arms on the sides of the headband, and can flip up and down and slide vertically to adjust to your ears. Unfortunately, the arms are a bit too flexible, and the hinge a bit too loose, so you need to reach up to the hinge itself and press down firmly to get the headphones to click into place over your ears. If you try to just pull the headphones against your ears without manually clicking the hinge closed, they'll just pop off. The Vive Cosmos displays a 1700 by 1,440 pixel resolution picture to each eye, edging out the Oculus Quest and HTC Vive Pro's 1600 by 1,440 resolutions. It isn't quite as sharp as the HP Reverb's 2160 by 2160 pixels per eye, but it's still very good. A 90Hz refresh rate matches these other headsets, and keeps movement smooth. The AH101 is glossy blue and black plastic, offering a splash of color compared with the monochrome Rift, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR. The headset is similar in design to the PSVR, with a large visor in front suspended from a circular padded headband with no T-strap over the scalp. Like the PSVR, you simply fit the headband over your head and tighten the wheel on the back until it's secure. The visor is mounted on a hinge for adjusting its angle relative to your eyes, and a large space between your face and the lenses lets you comfortably wear glasses with it. There are no physical controls or adjustments, besides simply tightening the headband and adjusting the angle of the visor. 2 cameras sit on the front of the headset, spaced several inches apart. These enable Windows Mixed Reality's spatial processing, tracking the headset's position relative to your computer without external tracking devices like you need with the Rift, Vive, and PSVR. This means you can use the AH101, or any other Windows Mixed Reality headset, without placing cameras or beacons on your desk or around your room, making it far easier to set up and use. The AH101 uses a stereo display with a total resolution of 2880 by 1440, translating into a 1440 pixel square for each eye. It uses LCD panels instead of the olds used in the Rift, Vive, and PSVR. While its resolution is higher than those 3 headsets, its refresh rate is a slightly lower 60 to 90 Hz, compared with 90 to 120 Hz for the PSVR and a flat 90 Hz for the Vive and Rift. The LCD panels also have less contrast than the OLED displays of the other headsets, so blacks don't look quite as deep and dark. It's easy to write off the Valve Index as another nondescript VR headset in the same vein as any Oculus Rift or HTC Vive headset, but the devil's all in the detail here. On the front, there's a glossy plastic faceplate above two front-facing cameras that can be used for pass-through video and, potentially, AR applications. Go to put the headset on and you'll feel the stone gray pads that line the inside. It's a similar halo design to what Oculus is doing on the Rift S, and it feels both comfortable and snug. To keep it that way, there are two dials you'll need to use, one on the left side that changes the physical distance from the lens to your eyes, and the one on that back that makes the headband tighter or looser. While the second is definitely important, it's something we've seen before. It's the first dial that's actually groundbreaking, as that's what allows the Index to achieve its industry-leading field of view spec. How does it do that? The science of this is pretty self-explanatory, but basically the closer a screen is to your face, the wider the field of view. The problem here is that, for folks who wear glasses, you won't be able to get the lenses right up to your eyes, and that means you'll see a similar field of view to what you'd get with the other headsets out there. In terms of hard numbers, the Valve Index uses a dual LCD display with a 1440 by 1600 resolution per eye. Unlike Oculus, which has actually dropped the refresh rate of its displays for the Oculus Rift S, the Valve Index has a 120Hz display, with the option to bump this up to 144Hz. For comparison, the more expensive Vive Pro has a lower refresh rate and smaller field of view, so this actually feels like a big upgrade. The Vive Pro looks like an overbuilt, navy blue version of the original Vive. It has the same general shape, with a rounded, POC-covered visor marked with a series of reflective nodes for the external sensors to pick up. The visor is now equipped with two cameras instead of one, for outward-facing 3D tracking stereoscopic vision like on Windows mixed reality headsets. Rather than a 3.5mm headphone jack for use with your own headphones, the Vive Pro has built-in on-ear headphones similar to the Oculus Rift. The headphones are higher quality than the Rifts, with faux leather ear pads and helpful controls like a volume rocker on the left earpiece and a microphone mute button on the right. They also sound a bit better, though apart from completely replacing the headband with a non-audio version, there are no alternate options like Rifts in-ear Oculus Rift earphones. The Pro feels more heavy-duty, with thicker plastic hardware for the visor's facial mask, the mounting points where the headband attaches to the visor, and the rear head support on the headband. The horizontal part of the headband is supported by blue plastic and well padded, particularly on the back part you can tighten against your head using a dial. A vertical strap runs from the top of the visor to the top of the rear support, and is adjustable with hook and loop fasteners to hold the headset steady. Dual 3.5-inch 1440 by 1600 AMOLED screens drive the Vive Pro's display system, sporting the same 90Hz refresh rate and 110-degree viewing angle of the original Vive's 3.6-inch 1080 by 1200 AMOLED screens. The result is a significantly sharper picture with a remarkably high density of 615 pixels per inch. It's the same jump you'd get from the Oculus Rift, which has the same display numbers as the Vive.